Lawmen, and the Witch. Three brothers sitting on the bank of the water's edge, just east of Fells Point. As they are watching ships pass by, startling sounds of a large group of people gain the three's attention. Marcus, the youngest of the three, looks over to his older brothers, Wayne and Hank. He excitedly says, "Shouldn't we go see what is going on?" Wayne, being the oldest, turns to Marcus. "It really isn't any of our business. It would be a good idea if we keep our noses out." Just then, Hank takes notice that the crowd was getting closer and closer to them. Hank, being one of the most influential people in the town, folks always came to him for advice. For the most part, Hank has always given good advice. Marcus, after all, being his younger brother, never seen evil, war, or famine. He has always had his older brothers to watch over him. Wayne, who also fought for the Sparrows Point Regiment during the war, one who helped liberate the Todd House from the British. He had influence as well. Both older brothers have taken the role as lawmen of the town of Fells Point, not really by choice. It was actually appointed to them by the town's folk themselves. "Marcus, get behind us," as Wayne gets to his feet. Hank stands as he places his hand on his .36 Colt caliber pistol and leaves it sheathed on his belt side. "Calm it down, people. What's going on?" shouting Wayne, man standing in front of the group.
"A child is missing. We're not safe. It's happening again."
Another man shakes a rotted piece of meat.
"This is intolerable. We do not live in the Dark Ages. All we have is bad meat and rotten fruits to eat. All around us we have farms."
The crowd starts cheering the one man in the front, chanting and yelling. "Tell him, yeah, tell him. We believe that there is a witch among us." Marcus steps from behind his brothers, asking the man in the front of the crowd, "What is a witch?" As he shrugs his shoulders, someone yells from behind the crowd,
"How are these guys going to help us when they shelter their little brothers so?"
A woman shouts out, "Aren't you two the great heroes of the war? This task should be easy for you." Hank and Wayne look at each other. Wayne speaks, "Well, little brother, guess we ought to look into it. At least it can't be any worse than the Brits." Hank nods his head with a chuckle. "A witch, huh? You people know this is 1834, right? I thought that medieval stuff was left behind us. So Wayne, if you think it is a must-do, I'm in." Marcus jumps up. "What about me? I can help." Wayne puts his hand on Marcus's head. "Not this time, little brother. You need to stay and watch over the homestead. We will have your auntie come over." Marcus starts his whining.
"Oh."
Hank packs his 1832 custom-made Colt 6-shooter and enough rounds to take down a small army. At the same time Wayne reached for his rifle and sword, first stop was the woman and father whose child went missing. Hank approached asking, "Has he ever run off or got lost in the woods?" Father replied, "No, he's a good kid who listens well and does his chores, but a strange old lady wanted to talk with him at the market one day. Shortly after shooing her away, he went missing." The brothers went off to the market, asking several people who gave an accurate description of what this woman looked like. Wayne did ask why people would not ever try to pursue her themselves, and the answer was always the same. It was as if she was there, then gone in a blink of an eye. Some encountered a feeling of not being able to move, as if their mind would not respond. Hank and Wayne started off on their journey and encounter an old man on a rocking chair, eating salted jerky and feeding it to his old bloodhound. "Yeah, I know of that hag, but I have to warn you two what you may be in for." Hank then tells the old man, "If she really is a witch, then we need to be done with her right quick." Old man shaking his head,
"Let me tell you boys, a little something. I'm 71 years old, back in the First War with the British. I was 17, and I've seen more than just war. I've seen very unworldly, mysterious things, so I'd be careful. Sometimes a gun and a sword is not everything. You need your faith. It has to be strong as well. So if you're looking for that old witch, I'll tell you where you may find her."
The brothers look at each other in surprise. They both yell out, "Where at, old man? Tell us."
"You've heard of Cedar Point?"
Wayne turns to his brother. "Hank, you should be remarkably familiar with it." Hank turned and started to walk away as he grinded his teeth, gripping his holster. "Come on, Wayne. I know where to find her." Hank and Wayne start stepping at double time, heading towards the Sparrows Point riverbanks. "You do. Wait, tell me what's going on here. Let me in on it." Hank says, "Do you remember Harry?" "Yeah. Didn't he used to play with us down at the creek when we were kids? Nobody ever knew what happened to him. He just disappeared." "No. Townspeople know exactly what happened to him, and a few other children. We need to make our way to Cedar Point." Hank looks to Wayne, knowing that the witch that was thought to be killed by his parents may still be alive. Year 1810, at the time Wayne, 15, and Hank, 13, just young men. A phenomenon was happening. Children were vanishing without a trace until a group of people found out it was a witch from Cedar Point. The area was known for these creatures of mythical powers. It was thought after tying her up to the old oak tree and burning her, this would stop her murdering streak. Hank asked, "How are we getting across Back River?" "It looks like we need to go around the peninsula." Wayne grunts, knowing the dangers of the marsh. The journey will take half a day to cut around. Hank started mumbling to himself. "Damn mud, high grass, and snakes." "Well, do you know a better way, Hank?" "In fact, I do. Let's take the old Philadelphia Trail. Then we can cut through Sussex. We won't have to fight with the bog. Straight shot up then down. May even catch a wagon or two." Wayne shakes his head in disbelief. "Yep, have to admit it. Would be quicker and cleaner too." As they set off on the Philly Trail, a carriage just so happened to come along at the time.
"Whoa, boy,"
shouts the coachman.
"Where you boys heading?"
Hank and Wayne both looked up at him. Hank replied, "Sussex." Coachman tells the boys,
"Jump right on in. I'm heading that way anyway."
"Much obliged for your courteousness," said Wayne.
"You know, you boys, you need to get somewhere right quick, especially around these parts. It gets quite dangerous at night. Some say that there is a witch about."
Wayne tells the man, "We know about the witch. In fact, we're hunting her." The coachman turns around and looks at the boys again.
"I think I heard about you boys, Hank and Wayne Medford, the heroes of the war. You are the guys that made those British turn tail and run the other way."
The coachman seems to get a little excited.
"Well, if anybody can extinguish that evil witch, it would definitely be you two. I know that Sussex has been suffering a long time, as children have been disappearing, food going bad. Hell, the town may even pay you."
A brief time later, arriving at the small town village of Sussex, few of the townsfolk come out and introduce themselves to the travelers. "John Healy, which would be my name. I am the governor of this town. Who would you two be, may I ask?" "My name is Wayne. This is my brother Hank." "That wouldn't be Medford, would it?" Hank jumps forward. "Look, we're not trying to cause a commotion of any type here. We're looking for a witch, the one known as the Cedar Point Witch." John started to get weak at the knees and leaned against a post. "That woman is pure evil. Took my daughter some years ago, and many of us tried like hell to find her, but to no avail. Our group could not track her. Nothing. So now we have a law in place. Before sundown, all children are brought in, no one outside. That was the only way to ensure our safety. Some livestock would go missing occasionally. No more children went missing." Hank takes a good look around the town, noticing how the children were clinched to their elders, saying, "When was the last time a child went missing?" John held his head down, looking to the ground. "It's been 3 weeks exactly, but no one after I assure you that." Hank pulls a leather pouch from his jacket and hands it to John. "Get the women and children into your town hall. Use a pinch of this around the building. A little goes a long way. Everyone must stay in there till sunrise tomorrow." "Hank," as Wayne starts to argue, "don't we need that to trap her?" Hank with a smile, "No, I have another plan." John looks to the sky. "Well, it's going to be night soon. We do have bedding. I would strongly suggest staying the night. I'll find a tracker for you in the morning." I reckon that's a good idea. What do you think, Hank? Well, Wayne, whatever you think. The next morning, as Wayne wakes up, Hank, you up? Yeah, I hardly got any sleep last night. Maybe just a short time, but it'll be enough. The two brothers gathered their gear, stepping outside to be greeted by the town governor once again. I hope you gents slept well. This is Samuel. He knows these parts better than anyone. The brothers look him over. Hank cries out, He's just a kid. John motions his hand before the kid could even say a word. Samuel is more than a kid. He escaped from the witch 3 weeks ago and knows the quickest way to find her. Sad part is both his parents died trying to protect him. Wayne looks him over. How old are you, Samuel? Samuel looks up to him, not fazed or scared in any way, in fact. This child looks like he had a fire burning in his eyes. He says, 15. Well, let's not allow the daylight to burn away. We have some ground to cover. As he started lifting supplies, Hank looks at Wayne, then looks back at Samuel. You do know he's no older than our younger brother Marcus, right? Yep. Also know he has the fire of revenge burning in him as well. Regardless, he would have went this way. We can keep an eye on him. Samuel marches right behind the brothers coming up on the old Eastern Trail, a very well-known dirt road which leads away from the east side waterfront of Back River. Hank says, We need to go southwest from here. Samuel, being inquisitive, asked, Mr. John said that you two were in the war? Wayne looks back at him with a grin. Yeah, we fought off the Brits, with a high cost of life. Hank steps back to Samuel and explaining to the young man, Not only did we lose our father, Wayne lost his wife, but he also took it upon himself to raise our little brother when our mother passed on during childbirth. Actually, he's our half-brother, but that makes no matter. Still, our blood. Oh, Samuel replied, we have to take this trail here. It will take us to the burnt oak. Wayne replied, Lead the way. The sky grew darker. The air smelled of burnt flesh. Then Wayne seen the young boy pick an apple from a tree and smacked it from Samuel's hand. Don't eat off the land. I believe it may be poisoned. I can smell the evil in the wind. Listen, do you hear that? The reverberating sound of squeaking trees starts to fill the forest around them. Wait, there's no breeze. How are the trees moving? Whispers Samuel. Wayne draws his sword. She's close, very close. Out of nowhere, an old woman with a scary voice shrieks out, Innocence! I smell innocence among you! Samuel looked up. There she was, and nothing about her was human. Hair long and stringy like seaweed, eyes piercing yellow like an animal looking for its prey, long dangling fingers, and the cloak that she was wearing, brown and stained with blood. Again it cried out, I want the blood of the innocents! She swings down as if she was flying. Wayne quickly reacted, with a swing of his sword cutting the lash, bonding, holding her body to the branches above. The witch falls hard to the ground. The thought of her being dead was quickly out of mind when she bounced right back up. I want the blood of the innocent! The witch keeps repeating. Hank pulls his revolver. All 6 rounds hit the witch, to no avail. It still did not take her down. Samuel cowers against the burnt old oak tree from where the witch pounced from. Wayne swings his sword again. The witch evades his blow, and he ends up striking the tree. Just then the witch starts screaming in agony. Samuel, who was just in reach of the witch, covering his eyes from the horror that was awaiting him. Crack boom. The sound of a rifle goes off, not striking the witch, but the tree. Hank, it's the tree. The source of her life force is the tree. After Hank reloads his pistol, takes aim at the tree, unloading 6 more rounds, causing the witch to fall back towards Wayne, hitting him and throwing him to the ground. Innocence! I need the blood of the innocents, the witch cried out in a more terrifying voice. Samuel, who realized now the tree was the source of the witch's power, gathers dry kindling and weeds, stuffing, and pushed it against the tree's base. Then he reached into his pocket and pulls out 1 matchstick. Burn in hell, witch! As he strikes it against the tree, catching the dried leaves to a scorching blaze. Wayne noticing this and keeps the witch's attention on himself. Back here, demon! I'm not done with you yet! Smoke and burn marks start to appear on the witch's hands and face. Wayne yells, Hank, another round should do it! Hank reloads his pistol and takes aim at the tree, all 6 rounds in one centered point. of the now flame-engulfed tree as the bark weakened and peeled away, falling to the ground, revealing small skulls and bones. "To ashes, you hag!" yells Samuel as he reaches for the sword that Wayne had dropped earlier. With one stroke, her head was taken clean off. Hank and Wayne looked over in surprise, telling Samuel, "Good job, kid!" "Is it over? Is it really over?" says Samuel. Both Wayne and Hank walk up behind him. Wayne turns to Samuel. "This evil one is done." Hank then adds, "You should come back to Fell's Point with us. We could really use another hero like you." Samuel looks at both brothers in amazement. Hero, me, wow.